Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain experiment 8. So for first I have installed the required libraries for performing experiment 8. And for the first question I've imported the necessary libraries and loaded the data set. You can see in the output. And for the second question I did missing values before imputation, which is I replaced them using mean imputation, which fills missing values with the average of each column. This ensures clean and stable data. You can see over in the output. And for third question, I standardized the data set using a standard scaler, which is to normalize the data set. This is important because SOM is a distance based and features with a larger value shouldn't dominate clustering. So for that, I did to standardize the data. So this is the output for that. And fourth question, I've initialized SOM, which is learning rate and sigma. Learning rate is controls the learning speed. Sigma is neighborhood radius and weights are randomly initialized. This step is mainly for preparing the SOM grid for training. And you can see over here in the output, the SOM is initialized successfully. And for the fifth question, I visualize the input features distribution, which is the x-axis contains feature 1 and y-axis contains a feature 2. Here I perform a scatter plot for that. And for the sixth question, I performed SOM clustering with different cluster size. Here I took 2 to 6. Each model maps high dimensional data into a 2D grid. Then after that, I did assigning the clusters based on winning neurons. This helps compares different cluster configurations. Here you can see in the output I did for 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it's a slot score as shown below. And for the seventh question, I did plotting the graph for slot score curve, which the x-axis contains the number of clusters and y-axis contains the slot score. This graph helps visually identify the best number of clusters. um, and for the eighth question, I have evaluated the clustering performance using Szilard score, Partition coefficient, and entropy coefficient. You can see in the output I did for cluster 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it's Szilard score, Partition coefficient, and partial entropy is shown here in the output. And for the ninth question, I found that the optimal number of clusters. The optimal number of clusters is 3. And for the 10th question, I calculated centroids, which is the central point for grouped data. And for the that, the output is shown here. And for the 11th question, I visualized the clusters for optimal clusters. Here I performed scatter plot. The x-axis contains feature 1 and y-axis contains a feature 2. And for the last question, the data is exported in Power BI. I will show the Power BI. This is the Power BI I have did. You can see here average of alcohol by cluster, average of malic acid by cluster, and cluster alcohol and malic acid and scatter plot you can see over here. Thank you.